My bear is kind of dropping. Hey there, mate. Okay, hello everybody, I'm Roxy and this is Rec Me BS. Yes, I'm wearing glasses. I've worn glasses for years and years now. I didn't used to record with them just because of the glare. I love how I look in glasses, but I've seen lots of people record in glasses and they don't seem to have a problem with glare. Apparently, like if I turn this side, the glare doesn't hit it. Okay, also I apologize for my voice. I have a cold. Today I come to talk to you about book shopping and bookstores and a little project I have for my vacation. As you know, I'm not from an English-speaking country. I'm from Chile, and books in English in Chile are hard to come by. We have one bookstore that carries books in English, Antarctica, and it's a really good bookstore, and also the prices are reasonable. Not as cheap as Book Depository, but I will pay to go to and buy a physical book that I get to have right away, because the postal service is kind of shitty. It can take up to 2 months to get a book from Book Depository. But Antarctica doesn't really have new books, new releases, or like more obscure classics. It's just really random because they buy like leftover books and classics for people who need them for like uni and school and stuff, and of course paperback bestsellers for like tourists. Sometimes you can find like really good stuff. For example, they carry a huge selection of the old editions of the Collector's Library hardbacks, like this one, and I love that. Then we have like secondhand bookstores, which again like really depend on what other people are reading. There are only like 5 bookstores that I know of that carry books in English, only one of which is like really worth it, and sometimes it can be so expensive, like even more expensive than getting a completely new book at Antarctica. So it's like I'm not going to pay that much, and again I'm willing to pay a couple of extra bucks if I'm going to get my book right away, if I'm able to go and have the experience of it, but if not, no. And then we have like Santiago Community Church. They have quarterly secondhand books fairs, which is awesome. There again, like you can find lots of good, really cheap stuff, but you are like subjected to what other people are reading. I have found treasures there really cheap, which is great, but again, it's only quarterly. So basically, if I want a book, if I see a new release, or if I find out about a book, I have to go on Book Depository and make peace with the fact that I'm not going to get it anytime soon. Now, I do buy a lot of Book Depository just because it's practical, but I do not enjoy it. I do not like buying online. It doesn't give me the pleasure that going to a bookstore and seeing staff picks gives me. I read a majority of books in English, so when I go to bookstores, every single book I see, or almost, is like, oh, I should read this in English, I should read this in English, I should read this in English, because most of what gets translated is originally in English. I also read lots of French literature and Japanese literature and German literature, but the thing is that translations are much cheaper in English. And so when I first started traveling, I didn't know about Book Depository yet. I started going to lots of bookstores. I went to Strand in New York, went crazy. I went to Capitol Books in Washington DC, and I went completely nuts. Every time I went, I returned with almost 100 books, or even more than 100 books, because they were so damn cheap. And I did that, and I could justify doing that because, well, first of all, I had lots of luggage space because I didn't travel on my own, but second, because I didn't have any other way at all to get those books. But now I'm going to London in a couple of weeks, and I don't have enough luggage space because I'm traveling on my own, and also it's not justifiable knowing that I can like order them on Book Depot to pay for an extra suitcase. It just doesn't make financial sense. So what I'm getting at is that I go to the bookstores now not to stock up, but just to have the experience of going to a bookstore and buying a book that I really want, and having all those options that I don't have in Chile. Chile has lots of books, but they are much more expensive. Still not as many as other places. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to visit as many bookstores as I can. Just like the first time, I'm going to record a little bit of them and get one book in each bookstore. I know that you're supposed to help independent publishers and bookstores. I do so here in Chile even. Like whenever I go to like small towns and they have opened a bookstore, I always get one book. My books in Spanish, I always try to get them from independent sources because I think it's so important. But with books in English, I don't have a choice because I cannot carry every single book I would want from London or the US or Australia, to which I've never been, but because of that, and because I like buying books on the bookstores so much, I'm going to get like just one book. Ideally, it will be a very small book, even if it's a hardback, like just light, something that I can safely bring back home. I just want to go there and have the experience of buying books in these very, very beautiful bookstores. I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe and comment. Do you like buying books online? Do you get that rush that, I don't know, do you like buying books at all? Because I know lots of readers who don't particularly enjoy the buying aspect. They just like the reading, which of course is definitely the best part, but I do enjoy going to a good bookstore and getting myself some books. So tell me, how do you feel about that? I personally don't mind paying a couple of bucks for a book if I can get it at a bookstore rather than online. And I know not everyone can have that luxury, but if you can do that, do you do it, or do you always go for like the cheapest option? Also, do you like used bookstores? Because couple of years ago I talked about how marvelous used bookstores were in places like New York, for example, and Washington DC, and of course I only mentioned those because those are the parts I know. I'm sure that all over we have great stuff, but I wouldn't know. Here in Chile, secondhand bookstores are kind of a ripoff. It's really hard to come by good, cheap second-hand books, so you usually just prefer to get it new because it's only like $2 difference. But if I'm going to get a book for like $1 instead of 10, then I don't care if the spine is a little cracked. I'm good with that. So please let me know. I'm very eager to know your opinions, and see you next time. This is Roxy from the future with her dog, apparently. Say hi to the camera. He's just frolic. You can see his butt. Anyways, dog butts are always awesome. So I've decided that I'm not going to booktube this challenge or this like project. I'm going to bookstagram it. So I'm going to upload like beautiful aesthetic pictures of the books that I get in each bookshop, but I'm also going to record like a short video of me saying what I loved about it and what are like the highlights. And I think it's much easier, much more interactive, and also like I feel kind of awkward being by myself at bookstores, just like filming. It feels odd for me, so I think Bookstagram is the best choice. Hi, so I'm Momo, and I'm not looking at the camera because I'm a diva, but anyways, my owner and I have finally come up with a name for the project. It's going to basically be called Wreck Me Bookstores Project, just because like it's something I can use like when I travel to other places, and I can keep the format. And I would also like to show you some stuff from Chile as well. And my dog is totally not selling it. Okay, so check out my Instagram links down below, and I hope you like this project. Oh, by the way, I'm reading the Bookshop book by Jan Campbell, and I'm enjoying it so much. There are some passages here that describe precisely the feeling that I'm talking about on this video. So if you want to read about the feeling, if you want to feel understood, and you want some great international recommendations for bookshops, then pick up this book, because it makes my heart like beat faster, and I'm not being metaphorical. Like, it makes me so happy and excited, and I'm going to visit lots of bookstores in here, and that makes me even more excited. So yeah, now see you next time. Bye.